Yo, what is up guys, Khraze here, back again with another No Man's Sky guide, and in today's guide I'm going to be teaching you everything that you need to know about trading and economies in this game. As a matter of fact, trading in No Man's Sky is one of the most profitable things that you can do, as you can generate millions of units in a very short amount of time. Of course, there are a few principles that you will have to keep in mind, but nonetheless, I'm going to explain them all along the way, and this video format is actually going to be a little bit more different than the usual guides that I'm doing, as I will explain things as I'm doing them on the screen instead of doing a script and having pre-recorded footage and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna do exactly that. Now, before starting off, I'm going to go and just name a few of the prerequisites that you will need, as in the items that you will need before attempting to do something like this. So starting off, we have this beautiful 48 slot max rank hauler, and it's actually going to be needed to do something like this. You're also going to need a lot of inventory slots, because we're gonna buy items from the trading post and we're gonna sell them in different systems. This is basically what trading is. You buy low and you sell high. It's all there is to it, but you will need a lot of inventory slots to do that, which is why a maximum rank hauler is going to be the best for this. Of course, you better also have a lot of cargo slots as well, because these are also important. Now, going back to your ship, in the technology section you should also have an economy scanner, because this will be extremely useful for two reasons. First of all the trading will exclusively be done in rich systems, and of course, in order to see the economy of a system, you will need an economy scanner. The second reason is because we're going to do this at the trading post, and the economy scanner helps you to find trading posts with ease. Also, hyperdrive upgrades are also useful, especially the first three ones, because it will give you like 1000 hyperdrive range, which should be more than enough. Honestly, I think this should be more than enough, because we're not going to venture too far from systems to system, right? We're gonna do it in a pretty close cluster, I might say. You don't really need the indium or the emerald or the cadmium drive, because while you can't really scan for their economy type in the galactic view for some reason, you can't see them even though you have an economy scanner, so we're not gonna do that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start off a trading route, and I'm going to go into the galactic view just to show you a few things that you will have to keep in mind. I'm going to teach you how to read the economy section of each system. So let's take this one for example. If you look on the economy section, you have a lot of stuff over there, and I'm going to explain it. First of all, it has an icon, and the first term that it uses, or the first terminology that it uses, is scientific. And I didn't mention this in any of the previous videos, but these play a huge role, because each type of system best sells its items in a different type of system. So we have a diagram that I'm going to show you right now on the screen. It doesn't contain all of the systems, it just contains 4 of them, because there are actually 7 types of economies in this game. I'm not talking about wealth, I'm actually talking about the products, if you might want to put it that way. But basically we have advanced materials, manufacturing, mining, power generation, scientific, technology, and trading, and these are the 7 main categories. Just like with the wealth ones, each category has like 4 or 5 terminologies it uses. So for example, this is just scientific and is named exactly as the group itself, but you might occasionally find something different. But for example, this system over here uses the terminology of mass production, but that actually only falls into the category of manufacturing. So this diagram that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to link it to you, is going to be useful just in case you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. I'm going to put them in the description box where you can read them out a little bit more. But we're gonna start off with power generation, which according to the diagram sells best in a mining system. Then buying from a mining system, we will sell into a manufacturing one, and finally we will do it into a scientific one. This is just one type of trade route, it is the simplest one, but I'm going to follow this one because it makes the most sense, and and you don't necessarily have to do that, but it's gonna be worth it. Now moving on to the second part, which is about the sell and the buy numbers. These also play a huge role. These are actually a range between what prices the items will be bought or sold for in that particular system. So for example, the trade goods in the system I'm currently located in, the items sell at a discount of maximum 48.7%, while when buying it is at maximum of minus 22.9%. But this is just a range, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact number that it shows on the screen. It's just the range in between where it can fall, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be that one, but it's the maximum and the minimum that it can happen. But this actually is not a very good one because the sell is pretty low. Generally, you're aiming the sell to be somewhere around 65 to 75%, and the buy to be from 20 to 25, sometimes 30% if you're like super lucky, but don't bet too much on it. So I'm going to start off by searching for a system that is both wealthy, is in the power generation category, and has a very good sell and buy difference. So I'm just going to filter over here by the economy type, and of course the power generation. Let's see which one falls into the power generation actually. You can even see it by the icons. If you pay attention to the icons, it's gonna be like super useful. Basically what I'm looking for here is a battery sign, and that's where I'm going to start doing my trading route. And it's only the setting that needs to be done this way. It's only the setting that is the most hard, because everything else is pretty simple. So just like the icon, red systems are the ones that fall into the power generation category, and I'm going to start off with that. So I'm going to look for a wealthy system in the range of 70 sell and 25 buy, and hopefully we're gonna find one. So it's gonna take a little bit of while, but I'm going to do just that. So we actually got a little bit lucky, and there was one really close to me. So this is an energy supply. It falls of course into the power generation category. It has a very good sell, a very good buy, and it is affluent, and we will teleport there. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing this only in rich systems? And the reason is because you will be able to buy much more trading goods in rich systems compared to poor ones. I think the maximum available is like 180. So we're gonna see that really soon. I'm just going to have to scout for a trading post. So I'm going to go down on this planet because it's the closest one. I'm not going to land on it, as a matter of fact. I'm going to exclusively land on trading posts. I'm not even gonna stop anywhere else. And the reason we're searching for trading posts, it's because it has the best discounts, it has the best buy and sell orders, the most amount of things that you can buy, and is generally the best, right? Now I'm going to go into my utilities tab and scan for a trading post. And as you can see, one made an appearance over there. Hopefully it's not off planet. Now there is a thing you could do here, and I recommend doing that when you're establishing more, more advanced routes. But you could go to each planet, scan for a trading post, and see exactly what prices it practices, because each planet has a different price that it uses, and of course it all falls into the general price range that is shown in the system general view. So you're definitely going to be able to do that, but for the sake of simplicity I'm going to do it on the first one that I'm finding. So I'm just gonna go to the trading post and let us see what types of items they have. I'm going to buy the more expensive ones, and the more expensive ones that you will need are the ones that cost the most. So the tier 1 and the tier 2, which are in this case the fusion core and the experimental power fluid. As you can see, these are the most expensive, but will also sell for the most. Potentially you can do the third one as well, but it's only like 10,000 per piece, so it's not really that good. But in this case, fusion core is unfortunately only minus 17%, but it's still within the range of maximum 20 or how it was. And all of these will go into my exosuit inventory. So we bought that. Now what we need to do is go into our starship inventory, pressing the C button. You can even see over here, you can switch the inventory really quickly without exiting. You just press the button C on your keyboard or whatever it is on your controller, and I'm going to buy the second type of item. Unfortunately, this one is only available in 81, so we're gonna do that. and we're gonna go ahead and see how much we can sell these for. So according to the diagram, which you're gonna see right now on the screen, the best system to sell these items in are of course in the category of mining. So there's gonna be a lot of terminologies like minerals or extraction, even mining or prospecting. But yeah, I'm going to search for one that says mining, and I'm going to filter once more by economy. Yeah, it's the orange ones. So what we're gonna look for is something that reads very wealthy. Like this one, for example, is a good example. This is prosperous. It has a very good buy of -26%. Unfortunately, the sell is only 54. We're looking for something a little bit better than that, like somewhere around 20% better. So we're just gonna scout ahead, and it's just the first time you're setting these routes when it's gonna be the hardest to do it, because after you've established the route, it's gonna be easier. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it after we reach the next system, but I'm just gonna need to find a good system in the meantime that falls into the mining category. Okay, so this is an advanced one. It has quite okay stats. It's 63% and -23. It could be better, and I could definitely spend a lot more time doing this, but since I found it, I don't think I have another choice, right? I think I just have to like do it in whatever I find. But when you're doing this on your own, you're definitely going to want to spend a little bit more time over here and set up the best trading routes possible. But yeah, it seems that that is the best one that I can find, so I'm going to teleport over there. So yeah, this is basically the first trading route that we actually set. It's between the first two systems, and what you can do is go into your discoveries tab and you can rename the systems that you actually visit to give them a name that lets you know exactly what you're doing with them. So for example, let's say you're in this system and you want to name it something like Trade Route 1, and you'll always know that you're starting with this one and then put on numbers according to the path that you're following. So Trade Route 1, Trade Route 2, and all of that until you have at least 4, maybe 5 or even 6 of these, depending on how much you want to do it. But you have to keep in mind the fact that you'll want to spend at least 3 hours doing this, like doing this entire route. So your entire trading route should be at least 3 hours long. The reason is because the items that you're buying in a certain system take some time to regenerate or to replenish, and you can't just go back and forth between two systems. I mean, even from the diagram itself, you can see that you need to go to different ones because each system sells best in a different one. But yeah, I'm rambling too much a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and sell things off right now. So as you can see, the fusion core is a whooping 31% on top of the discounted price that it was already. So it's like almost like 50%. I'm going to sell it. And then I'm going to go into my Starship inventory and I'm going to sell the rest. Now, if you remember correctly, we were somewhere around 65 million, like 3 billion, 300 million and 65, which means we had a profit of almost double of what we have spent. I think that is the case, but keep in mind that the system we were in wasn't really that good because it had some really low amounts of items. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to continue buying, but as you can see, the numbers over here are not really that good. It's only 83 and 88, which honestly isn't really that great, but let's do it, you know, for the sake of simplicity. Typically you'll be looking for anything that reads, you know, 180 or somewhere along those lines, but we only find 88 right here. But I'm just showing you the principles. So these cost 3.8 million. And then I'm going to go into my Starship inventory, even though I could sell it from my exosuit because there's definitely enough room in it. I'm going to do it from here. And these cost 2 million, so it's like almost 6 million that we're gonna do. Now, buying from each ship and space station is also a possibility, though the prices will not be the best. As I've said, the best ones will always be on the trading post. That is why you'll want to do that. Now that we did with prospecting, we need to move into manufacturing, which should be yellow, if I believe correctly. Let's see, is that true? Yes, it is. Manufacturing. Now we need to search for a good manufacturing one, and it's gonna be like the first true trade route that we're setting. I'm just gonna need to find a good one. I would also advise doing this in a very remote part of the universe. Like, never do it in a hub or anything, because you're not gonna like it. And holy moly, look at this system. This is a manufacturing, and this is like one of the best I've seen so far. Plus 79.5 and minus 26, and it's prosperous. This is actually a very good one, and all of these are within 1000 light year range between each other, so it's not gonna be too far away. And again, I'm not doing this optimally, yet I'm still generating a lot of units, and you only need a starting capital of like 5 or 10 million at most. And really, if you're doing the egg hunt thingy, you will definitely be able to amass that amount of units in no time. So let us sell. Now, if you remember correctly, the real latest arc crystals were like 3.8 and now are 6.3, so that is like a huge increase. And then we go here, and this is almost double, as a matter of fact, from 2 million to 3.8. Essentially, every time you're doing this, you're kind of doubling your profits if you're doing it correctly. But now we need to go into a technological system, but I first need to buy these. And this system is actually very good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to note this one down because it's very good. It even has 134 items to sell and 171 in the other one. So 6.5 mil. And switching to the Starship should also be somewhere along those lines, like 4 million. So this is done. This is a good system. I could have definitely found a trading post with way better results, way better items, and even buy and sell orders. But whatever, we're gonna go into a technological one. And those should appear as blue on the screen. Now, which shade of blue is it? Yeah, so it's the brighter blue, which is the cyan one. We're gonna need to look for a cyan system which is very rich. Let's see. Oh, and keep in mind that if you're for some reason finding a system that doesn't show you any stats, like data unavailable, it is because it is not a yellow system. This is green, even though it's like super hard to see. This is a green system. So green, red, and blue systems unfortunately do not show their data. I'm not sure if that is, you know, a bug or maybe intended, but it was not like this previously. And wait a minute, 69 and minus 20. It's good. It's not the best, but it's, you know, kind of good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the marked one. Of course, when you set your trade routes, it's going to be a little bit different because you're gonna obviously look for the best ones. Like so far, it's been 371 million, and I have like roughly, I'm not sure, like 20 million in my inventory. So this was, I'm not sure how long this was, 10 minutes, and we did like triple profits. Like if you start with 10 million, you don't need more than half an hour to like triple the amount that you need. Ignore the GAC, they don't really matter. What you need to do is just sell. So it was, what was this? 5.6 mil to 9.3. I'm gonna sell it, thank you very much. The one in the ship was like 4 and now is 7.6. And the other one, I'm not sure how much it was, but it's definitely more than double. So yeah, 390 million starting from 370, and I'm not sure I've ever spent more than 5 million or let's say more than 10 million per each transaction that I did. And what you're gonna do from here, because this is the last one in the cycle and I'm going to do the last one in the cycle as well, you're going to repeat the process. You're not gonna go back to any of the systems you've been into, but you're going to repeat the cycle again. You're just going to use different systems. So just to give you an example, look at this, 180, this is actually perfect. This is the maximum available. So we're gonna buy these, then I'm going to switch to the other inventory in the Starship and I'm going to buy the other ones. Right? And this should be enough. I could probably still fill in the inventory, so I'm going to buy the tier 3 as well. I'm not sure if 140 will suffice. Okay, I can't buy 140, but I'm gonna try to fill them with 100. Now you might be wondering why I'm doing this in like full buyouts and not in sections. The reason is because every time I'm buying an item, the price increases, and every time I sell an item, the price decreases. This means that you will have to buy items and sell items in batches. Otherwise, you're gonna suffer from a lot of price fluctuation, and that is gonna be for the worst. So now we're gonna go back to power generation because it's in the cycle, which means we're gonna look for red systems. Okay, this is actually a very good one. This is 78.5 and minus 22, and of course it's power generation, so it's definitely going to be able to make my cycle continue, and from here on we're just going to repeat this cycle of just 4 types of systems. So yeah, here's the trading post, and the cool stuff about this is that you don't actually use any of your fuel, you're only using the hyperdrive warp cells, that's pretty much it. But the launch costs are pretty much non-existent because you're exclusively going to trading posts, which is awesome. So now let's go ahead and sell what we have. So this is like almost 13 million, which is freaking awesome. And let's see, this one is as well. And we just made 399, which was previously 370, somewhere along those lines. So this is like a 30 million profit in this video alone. So again, trading is one of the best methods of making money legit in this game. You never have to worry that it's gonna be patched out because it's legit. It's something that I've been doing for a long time, ever since the previous patches, and it was one of the main ways that people reached billionaire status in the previous updates. And yeah, this was pretty much it. This covered today's guide on how to trade in No Man's Sky. Hopefully it taught you everything you needed to know about economies, about ways of doing trading and setting trade routes. If it did, then a like and a subscribe would be definitely appreciated. Also, do not forget about the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. So peace out.